Giving Gary Megson this unique chance to lead the team out at Wembley was worth putting the next chapter on hold. If this turns out to be Megson's only game in charge of the team during his mini-renaissance, then it was a fitting and memorable send-off for the man known as the Messiah around these parts. For 70 minutes, Albion's fondest manager of recent years was masterminding a typical Megson-era 10 against one of the country's greatest teams and the Premier League's most celebrated young managers. The fact he was visibly enjoying himself on the touchline, even relishing the simple act of berating referee Mike Jones, made the nostalgia even more addictive. It was certainly a drug being readily consumed in the 3,500-strong away end. There's only one Gary Megson rang around Wembley in the immediate aftermath of Salomon Rondon's early strike. They called for waves, he waved back. At times it was like watching that opening scene in Love Actually when old friends and family are reunited at the airport. Megson has a special rapport with Albion fans, and after their giddy day out at Wembley, there will understandably be calls for him to get installed full-time. But it's dangerous to let the heart rule the head. Even though he could do the job, and certainly deserves a chance elsewhere, it has been 9 years since he managed in the Premier League and his role in this season's funk should not be wiped from the slate. Albion fans will take solace in the fact that the 58-year-old's week in the spotlight made it just enough to get to him another shot somewhere else. They would be more than happy to be that springboard for him. As for Albion's future, there were signs that the new man, and it is looking increasingly like being Alan Pardew, will inherit a squad capable of climbing the table quickly. Confidence has been restored, experienced heads are back to their best. Johnny Evans and Gareth Barry, two reliable players who have been off the pace recently, were absolutely supreme here, and proved why they have been the envy of other sides in the past. Salomon Rondon had his best game for Albion in nearly 12 months, and young Sam Field looked at home on the biggest stage. The last time Field was at Wembley, he was in the stands watching the Baggies lose 10 to Derby County in the playoff final. 10 years later, he was on the pitch for a much more enjoyable visit. His performance, coupled with those of others, was a timely reminder of the bright future that potentially lies ahead if the right appointment is made. There were still remnants of polish in the performance after all. It is difficult to drastically change overnight. Albion only had 27% possession on the day and, at times, they were forced to battle on the edge of their penalty area with 10 men behind the ball. But they moved the ball through the pitch with far more purpose. They were calm in possession, and enjoyed having the ball on the deck, particularly in the first half. The away fans were even olaying when the away team kept the ball for longer than they had all season. Spurs were sluggish for the first half an hour, but they ramped up the pressure as the game wore on and the onslaught came. But the difference between this Albion performance and the last 6 months under Pulis was that, when possession was won, the team had a plan. They could, and maybe should, have won it at the death. But if the brilliant Rondon had tucked home the glaring chance in injury time, there might still be Albion fans singing Gary Megson's name at Wembley now.